everybody. Welcome back to Ordinary Adventures.
In this video, we're going to give you the tips, tricks, and hacks to have the best visit to Universal's Epic Universe. How can you get on more rides? Secret drinks? How can you get less wet on the water ride? Where should you go first? And where should you stay? We have spent a dozen days inside Epic Universe, and we're sharing all our best info with you. We'll also try all the breakfast options in the parks so you know what to get. Why don't you come with us on this adventure?
We don't want to waste your valuable time by giving you the same theme park tips that you've read and heard 1,000 times before. But on the other hand, they are tried and true for a reason. So we're going to get to them in rapid fire, and then we'll get to the good stuff.
Buy your tickets in advance so you're not wasting time in the ticket line. Identify a meeting spot just in case your group gets separated. Plan your meal times in non-peak hours so you're not waiting in a long line. Make sure to sit down and take plenty of breaks. It gets really hot out here. We like to take a hand towel from the hotel so we can wipe ourselves throughout the day. And also, this neck fan helps, and also bring an umbrella because there are thunder and lightning storms almost every single day during the summer. Remember to bring sunscreen, wear a hat, bring a portable charger, a refillable water bottle, wear comfortable shoes and clothes, and you'll have a good park day. The number one question that we get is, where should I stay if I want to go to Epic Universe? And actually, Universal has built 3 brand new hotels for this theme park. 2 value resorts, you have Stella Nova and Terra Luna, and you have the hotel right behind me, the Helios Grand. This is part of like their signature hotel series, so it's a little bit fancier, a little bit more expensive. It's connected to the park, so it actually has its own entrance, and the views from inside this hotel, if you get a theme park facing room, is absolutely incredible. Although this does have an entryway into the park, it does not include an express pass. All of the other top tier Universal hotels include an express pass with your room to the 2 legacy parks. And at the time of recording, this one does not. So do with that as you will. And also, staying at any of the official Universal hotels will get you early access into the theme parks and into Volcano Bay, which is a nice perk. The rooms at the 2 value hotels range between $150 to $250 a night, while the Helios costs about $400 to $700 depending on the time of the year. So I guess the question is, what is the best choice? And personally, although we have not stayed at the Helios yet, we don't think it is worth the money. We have stayed at Stella Nova, however, and Terra Luna. Those are very, very close to the park and for like a fraction of the price. To be real with you guys, whenever we come to Orlando, whether we're coming to Universal or Disney World, we always stay at Dockside. That is our favorite hotel. It is so cheap, has a Starbucks, rooms are amazing, it's quiet, it's clean, and it's like halfway between Epic and it's halfway between the other Universal parks. Honestly, like, we get rooms at that hotel for sometimes under $100 a night. That one unfortunately doesn't include the express pass, but I mean, we have an annual pass, so it doesn't matter.
The second most asked question we get is, how many days should I spend in Epic Universe? And the question has 2 answers. Number one, you could speed run the entire park and do all 11 attractions in one day, but it might be tough. We would recommend spending 2 days. That way you could get the most of this park. You can eat at some restaurants, enjoy some of the vibes, and meet some characters. There's interactive experiences you're gonna wanna experience in the Wizard World of Harry Potter with the wands, and in Super Nintendo World with the power-up bands. There's like a lot here, and I think 2 for us is like what we'd recommend. The one tip I'll give you is if you're staying at Stella Nova Resort, you might want to walk to the park. I know after a long day at the park, you don't want to walk more distance, but it's only a 5-minute walk if you walk fast. It's a 8-minute walk if you walk slow. And unless you see a shuttle bus actually at the shuttle stop, you're going to be waiting multiple times of that. The other night, we didn't want to walk back and we waited for a bus, and it was like 20 minutes until the bus came, and then we waited on the bus for another 10 to 15 minutes before it gathered enough people to get back to the hotel. So we waited like 35 minutes to get back to the hotel when we could have just walked back there in 5. So just walk. So if you're staying at a Universal Orlando resort, you get early entry into the parks. That's 1 hour early here at Epic Universe. And you're probably wondering, how do I use that hour? Like, what is the strategy? And that's a very important question to ask. By the way, we're recording this the week Epic Universe opened, so things could change. But as of right now, when you get here an hour before the park opens, that gives you access to Celestial Park, that's Constellation Carousel and Stardust Racers, and it also gets you access to Super Nintendo World, which is probably the most popular world here for families. And then it gets you access to a second world that changes based on the day. It could be Dark Universe, could be Isle of Berk, could be Ministry of Magic. Probably isn't going to be Ministry of Magic, but it changes per the day. So it's hard to like know what worlds are going to be open. The one thing I can tell you, starting your day in Super Nintendo World is probably not the best idea because everybody goes there. It's the most busy world in that first hour, actually the first couple hours of the day. Because once the park actually opens to normal guests, everybody runs over to Super Nintendo World. So I think a lot of people have the strategy that we should run to Donkey Kong Country because the mine carts has like one of the lowest capacities in the park and it has some of the longest wait times. But what I've found is the longest waits of the day on that ride are in the morning.
Every 30 minutes, there is a water show. It's not something you need to like schedule your entire day around, but if you're walking by and you see it going off, it's a fun little treat. And if you plan it just right, if it's like a windy day, you get a nice breeze and a nice mist of the water on you, which I love. And there's usually nobody over here, so you could just sit down, lay down, relax, and enjoy the show.
If my calculations are correct, it's gonna go off in 10 seconds.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is it going off?
Did we time it wrong?
I don't know. Somebody told us, a team member told us every 30 minutes. Maybe it's every hour? Who knows? Either way, these fountains go off. The fountain show just adds some music to it. It's very cinematic.
What the heck? It's not 2 o'clock. It should be going off right now.
Either way, if you're walking by and you see the fountain show, it's a
We
nice...
had planned this whole thing to have this speech.
Well, there's
right
also
before.
a nighttime show. It happens at 9:50. That one is a must-watch, I will
Yeah, it
say.
happens 10 minutes before park closing.
Yeah,
so
and it's like a 10-minute long show. Listen, the park is brand new. The times, you know, it might be random times. Don't quote us, okay? We're just giving this tips video. We're doing the best we can.
Okay, 1 minute passed.
Yeah, so it might not be right exactly on the dot, but we were correct. So that's good.
Right before you go through security to Epic Universe, you'll notice there's a gate there that has the medallions for all 5 worlds that you'll find inside this theme park. And you'll notice that there are 2 circles with nothing inside it. Speculation is that those might be reserved for the expansion pads. There's a bunch of expansion pads for this theme park. There's a lot of room to grow. There's a lot of room for all the worlds, except for I think Isle of Berk, to expand. So it's cool to see that they've planned ahead. So you might be wondering, what happens if I buy too much merchandise at Epic Universe and I don't want to be lugging it around all day with me? What are my options? Well, you have 3 different options. Number 1, in the stores, they can actually deliver the stuff you buy to your hotel if you're staying at a Universal Orlando resort. It could take 24 to 48 hours, but it costs nothing. We did this when we were staying at Stella Nova. For the opening, we bought the Dark Universe vinyl record, and it was record temperatures. We were afraid that it was gonna melt in the sun, and we had to ship to our hotel, and literally it was there that night, but they say it could take up to 48 hours. Your second option is in the stores. They can ship your merchandise to your home. It does cost money though. It costs money depending on how far away you live and how much stuff you're buying. And then option number 3 is store it in a locker. And this isn't just for merchandise. If you have like a heavy bag like me and you don't want to lug it around all day, you can store it in one of the lockers. So to the left of the Kronos is the main locker bank here at Epic Universe. It's kind of hidden. There's like this nice little atrium. I'm in it right now. It's kind of beautiful. And then they have a locker bank over here. and it has two different sizes of lockers. They're small and large, and there's two different prices, of course. And these prices could obviously change, but I would actually recommend you don't store your stuff in these lockers, because these lockers are all the way at the front of the park, and you're going to be all over the park. You want lockers that are closer to you. I would go to the concierge huts. If you go right around the concierge huts, right over here, you'll find a locker station. And the cool thing about this locker station is it's more central to the center of the park.
That's a good tip. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so say you're in Dark Universe and you're going over to Wizarding World, you have lockers over here. You don't have to go all the way to the front of the park to store something, which I think is very convenient. The only problem with the locker system here at Epic Universe is that it uses your face to unlock the lockers. So that can be a problem in two different cases. If you get the monster makeup experience and you turn into Frankenstein, it no longer works. And like what we like to do at Disneyland, if we're at Disneyland with a bunch of friends, we'll rent a locker and give all our friends the code to the locker so they can come and go and put stuff in the locker and store their merchandise, whatever they need. Here, it's linked to one person's face. So that's a little bit of an issue, but they do have a workaround. Let me show you. So right here, usually you press that to do your photo validation. If you want to rent it without photo validation, you click here, and then you scan your barcode on your ticket right down here. So that way, you could share your park ticket or your pass with your group, and then they could all have access to the same locker.
Or you could just do like the movie Face Off and print scans of all your friends' face and then all wear your friend's face. Problem solved.
Each of the portals here in Celestial Park have a concierge hut. This is cool because when you have a problem, instead of having to go all the way to guest services in the front of the park, you can come right here to the concierge hut. Because of this, you don't have to go far to talk to someone. So if you have any questions, you can come here. If you need accessibility concerns, if you need to troubleshoot your app, if you need to report something to Lost and Found, or if you need ticket modifications or upgrades, you come to the concierge hut.
Right next to the lockers, attached to every concierge booth, there is a fuel rod station. And what's cool about this is there's the regular fuel rods that you know and you love, but they actually have these new fuel rods that are 3 times the power and about twice as expensive, but they're actually MagSafe and they like attach to the back of your iPhone if you have one of the newer iPhones, so that's pretty cool. Celestial Park is like this park's version of Main Street. It's a big sprawling park. It's got tons of restaurants and a few rides.
Let's talk for a minute about the rides in Celestial Park. Constellation Carousel is a gem. It's delightful, and it has a lot of re-rideability. There are 7 different music tracks to this ride, and the ride vehicles move differently based on each track. And you get different experiences based on the vehicle that you ride. The ride offers vehicles that spin and others that don't. We recommend getting on one of the ones inside the moving circles that spin. That way you're not just going in a circle, but you're going in a circle. So there's more variety to it. And there's 2 different types of vehicles. There's vehicles for single riders, and then there's airships that can fit 2 adults and 1 child. And it looks like to me that the single vehicles go higher than the airships. The other ride in Celestial Park is Stardust Racers. This is a dual launch racing coaster. Don't forget to check out the fun Back to the Future Easter egg on the back of these ride vehicles. It turns out that Doc Brown was one of the travelers from other worlds that made the pilgrimage to Celestial Park. He may have helped create Stardust Racers using his patented flux capacitor. If you're wondering which track is more thrilling, most people say that the green track is more thrilling and intense, and the yellow track is slightly milder but smoother. Now, I'm not a big coaster person, but from what I understand, the green features an extra airtime hill before the second launch, and it has a more dynamic rotation during the Celestial Spin element. The yellow is slightly less intense and smoother transitions and has more rapid fire airtime moments. And it can probably be said that most of the outdoor rides are better at night, but that's especially true with the ones in Celestial Park. Constellation Carousel and Stardust Racers are both much better at night. They have different lighting packages and nighttime only soundtracks.
You know, at Disneyland, we love ourselves a secret path, a secret corner of the park that no one really goes to, that we can like come and chill. Well, I found one in Celestial Park, and I want to show Kitra for the first time ever.
I'm excited for a secret path.
Okay, so the path is right in front of Atlantic Restaurant. Let's walk this way. It's like a scenic little garden.
I always just assumed this was like part of the entrance to the restaurant.
I think a lot of people probably assume that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody come over here. But you can walk over this like cute little bridge. How cool is this like little area over
I know,
here?
I love it. I feel like the secret's gonna be out now. Everybody's gonna know about it.
Like all sorts of like flowers and stuff to look at. And you can come over here and hang out and watch the fountains. Or you can watch people eating inside the Atlantic restaurant. See, I found this when I was trying to get B-roll of the Atlantic restaurant because we were doing a video. But how nice is this?
Yeah, this is awesome. There's also an entrance over here by Constellation Carousel, but I like the entrance over by Atlantic better because it feels more secretive. There's even like a nice seating area over here.
What are we ever doing here? I don't know if you're here in the future, I'm here in the past. Stay tuned.
Well, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
We just ran into Doc Brown in Celestial Park. What are the odds of that?
I mean, he did put the flux capacitor on Stardust Racers.
True, so it does make sense that he would visit here, right?
You might be wondering, where can I get breakfast in Epic Universe? There's 2 restaurants that serve breakfast in Epic Universe as of opening day. The first of which we're gonna try is Oaken Star Tavern. And we love this place. It has like brick walls, and there's like painting on the brick walls. There's like stained glass. And if you catch it just right, you might even see a musician on stage. We tried a bunch of the food here. I'm gonna start things off with the Oaken Star Bacon, Egg, and Cheese Sandwich. This is barbecue bacon, eggs, cheddar cheese, mayo, ketchup on a pan sobo bun, and it comes with French fries, which look like they're seasoned. And this is so big. I wasn't expecting it to be this big. I was expecting like a small, dinky breakfast sandwich like you normally get at like Disneyland. But this thing's huge. And it tastes so good. It's so flavorful.
I got the traditional Southern breakfast. This comes with 2 eggs, barbecue bacon, and brioche toast. I love the presentation, how it comes in like a flat iron skillet. The bacon is the star of the show. My only complaint is I wish you could modify the eggs because I wanted them scrambled. But I love that it comes with like French fries and that brioche kind of like country style toast.
Got myself the brulee Hawaiian mango bread platter. This is mango bread, pineapple, strawberry, whipped cream, toasted coconut with scrambled eggs and bacon. I'm not sure if we said this in the video yet, but the mango bread here is so good. It's probably my favorite side out of anything at any of the restaurants at Epic Universe. It's kind of a cross between a cornbread and a banana bread, but instead of it tasting like banana, it tastes like mango. And here, they have upped it by putting all those toppings on it. It tastes so good. I wish it was like toasted or something, but I really have no complaints. This meal is amazing. Another standout on this menu is the bacon. It's charred and smoked, but it's not like too crispy. It's not like burnt. It's so good.
And then I also got the biscuits with sausage, gravy, and eggs. This is homemade biscuits, sausage gravy, scrambled eggs, and barbecue bacon. The biscuits here are so good. The gravy itself had an interesting flavor to it. It was very salty, almost a little bit garlicky. It wasn't what I was expecting, but the biscuits were good, the eggs were good, and that bacon is amazing.
Yeah, get anything that has the bacon.
Yeah, anything that you see has that bacon, get the bacon, because it's so good.
And lastly, I'm gonna try the chorizo and eggs. This is spicy tomato and pepper stew. Chorizo, baked eggs, feta, and brioche toast. I wasn't expecting this to be so flavorful. It is a little bit spicy as a kick to it, but you get that like tomato taste to it. This is a very hearty breakfast. I like this a lot. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5 Peters, but I think my favorite is the mango bread. At Oaken Star Tavern, they have the Plastered Owl. That is their bar, and they have a breakfast drink there. It's called Witty Wolf's Breakfast Sour, and it's made of Rattlesnake Rosie's maple bacon whiskey with orange curacao, grade A maple syrup, lemon juice, orange juice, and Angostura bitters, and an applewood smoked bacon strip on top. I love that it has like some bacon in there. Because their bacon here is so good. Oh wow, that's a like complex taste to it. Because it's sweet, it's sour, but also like a little bit like spicy. That'll wake you up for sure. By the way, I learned when we were at this bar that every one of the bars at Epic Universe, or not every one of the bars, a bunch of the bars at Epic Universe and Celestial Park have their own coasters. So if you're like a theme park coaster connoisseur like me, you gotta collect them all. I have all my Oga's coasters.
Guess that means we got to go back to all the bars today.
I know.
For science.
I need a collection of my theme park coasters.
When you first walk into the park, to your right, there's going to be a Starbucks. But early in the morning, it could get kind of crowded because that's where everyone's going. But if you walk just a little bit further, there's actually a second location over by Dark Universe that rarely has a line. So pro tip, maybe go there to beat the crowds. And one of my favorite pieces of merch is actually sold at Starbucks. You can get one of those Starbucks mugs that says Epic Universe. It's got the Chronos on it. I love it because it actually has some of the portals on it, and you can only find it at Starbucks inside the park. Okay, now it's time to talk about each individual world and all of the attractions inside of them to give you all of our tips and tricks to have the best day ever. The first world that we're gonna start in is Isle of Berk. One of our favorite food items in all of Epic Universe is over here at Hooligan's Grog and Gruel. They are the mac and cheese cones. The best one, in my opinion, is the PB&J one. Has like pork on it. It is so good.
The mac and cheese cones are one of the most viral things to come out of Epic Universe. So that means the line over at Hooligan's Grog and Gruel is usually very long. And if that's the case, I recommend you pull up the mobile order and you can get them at Spitfire Grill across the way. So don't wait in line, mobile order, and pick them up at Spitfire Grill.
One of my favorite dragons in the land is this ice dragon, and it actually spits out like an icy cold mist every 2 to 3 minutes. So if you see it go off, just stick around for a few more minutes and it'll go off again.
The one thing you must do when you're in the Isle of Berk is meet Toothless. Unfortunately, it's going to be the most busy thing to do in this land, maybe even the park. Right now, it's 90-minute wait, and it's a lower capacity. Not really a tip, but something to know is when you meet Toothless, you might be meeting him with Hiccup, you might be meeting him with Astrid, and you might be meeting him with a random Viking. You can't plan for it. When you get in line, it's going to change out. I kind of wish they had a Hiccup that could go back and then come out refreshed, a minute later, so that you get Hiccup and Toothless, because so many kids want to get that photo with Hiccup and Toothless. And another thing they've been doing recently is when we first came here during previews, Astrid and Stormfly were walking around the land. I think it's too hot for that, and now they've decided to put her and Stormfly underneath the haddock right next to Toothless. So occasionally, I want to say like 5-6 times a day, you'll see Stormfly come out and you can actually meet both dragons and both characters, but again, you can't plan for it, so it's not something you can like sign up for. I wish there was like show times or like ways to know that you're gonna get a photo with Astrid and Stormfly. Another one of the attractions in Isle of Berk is called Fire Drill, and this is a boat water ride where you will get wet, possibly soaked. The question is, how will you get less soaked? And the answer to that is only shoot at the red targets, don't shoot at the blue targets. But you can't control if another boat is going to target you. And that's where you'll get really soaked. But if you hit the blue targets, there's points that will like dump water on you. When we went on this, we got completely annihilated with water.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was shooting at. I was just shooting at anything.
Oh, it feels good. It's really hot outside, so it feels refreshing. But I just want to say, a lesson is, only shoot at the only shoot at the red targets.
Oh my
Red
God.
targets!
Yeah.
Only shoot at the red targets, don't shoot at the blue targets, and don't piss off the people in the boat in front or back of you, because they'll get you.
But we didn't do anything. We didn't do anything to
But they annihilated you?
They just decided. They chose violence.
Yeah.
And
I
it
mean,
was-
good for them. That's the price you pay. That's a chance you take,
Yeah.
right?
That said, if you do get completely drenched, and you possibly will, there are some dryers at the exit of the ride. You got to pay some pretty penny to use them. Universal knows what they're doing, but you can like dry off a little before your meet and greet with Toothless. Right outside Fire Drill, they have this massive fountain, and it's so hot today that people are literally dunking their head inside the water. I'm not sure if that's safe.
I know. I want Peter to go do it, but he won't do it.
No,
Do it.
because
Do it.
I'm smart. I care about germs.
Yeah.
There's like little kids like drinking out of it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be putting some chemicals in there if it's like in reach of the guests. Right?
Literally every other person is going up there and dunking their head. It's like they see one person doing it and they're like, you know what, I'm going to do that too.
It makes me want to do it, to be honest.
I mean, imagine how good that would feel.
That actually feels pretty good. I saw so many people doing it, I was like, I have to. It's so hot out today. There was some kid that was like swimming in it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. But yeah, wow.
Each of the worlds has an exclusive beer. The one in Dark Universe is called Reaper's Reserve. It's a brown ale, and it has caramel and nutmeg and clove and cinnamon. It was described as kind of like the flavors of HHN. It was really good, but it's really divisive. People either really like it or really dislike it. I'm in the camp that thinks it's pretty tasty. The special beer in Celestial Park is called the Speechless Astronomer. This is a grapefruit wheat ale. It's kind of like a Hefeweizen, very light, very crisp. Also a fan. Spoiler alert, I think I liked every single beer so far in each world. The one in Ministry of Magic is a black currant infused saison beer, which is like a French style. A little bit fruity, very delicious on a hot day, but I have yet to try the special beer here in Isle of Berk. This one is called Stoics Ale. It's a Nordic style white ale brewed with oats, wheat, wildflower honey, providing a smooth and slightly sweet taste. And I have heard that this one is actually the best. A lot of people say that this is the one to get. So let's try it. They're all so different. It really is like fun to go in each world and try them all because they all taste completely different. I think maybe the one in Celestial Park is my favorite, but I'm like a fan of wheat beers and Hefeweizen and stuff. They all get a 5 out of 5. They're all good.
And before anybody asks, Super Nintendo World doesn't have any alcohol, just as Ministry of Magic doesn't have any sodas.
Yeah, I wish there was like some special Nintendo beer, but yeah, no alcohol in that land.
2 of the lands have special meads that you can't get anywhere else, though.
Yeah, the mead here in Isle of Berk is delicious, and in Dark Universe.
Trying to make sure you all eat your carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's
Obviously,
important.
look, my tapestry, I'm holding the carrot.
Yeah.
I'm on carrot duty.
And my tapestry, if it was there, would also have me holding a carrot, but somebody... Because we're on carrot duty.
Carrot duty, I don't know.
It's our
Hiccup
due
said I have to do
diligence.
something.
Yeah.
He's like, you gotta make sure they eat the carrots.
That way you can
It's like,
see when you fly your dragon in the dark.
Carrot duty. Our favorite ride in all of Isle of Berk is called Hiccup's Winged Gliders, and it's really fun because you could go on it multiple times and have a slightly different experience because the script changed. We've heard 2 different versions, I'm not sure how many there are, and a pro tip, if you want a good photo on this, don't put your hands up because it'll block your face. We were gonna buy it, but all of our arms were up and it blocked everybody's face.
One of the other rides over here in Isle of Berk is called Dragon Racers Rally. And this is a ride that I think most people are going to overlook because it's going to have long lines because it's slow capacity, but it's also a flat ride. But when we went on this, we were super surprised. I think a lot of people also won't go on it because they're afraid of doing the flip. Don't worry, it takes a lot of work to do a barrel roll. So if you want to do it, you really have to work for it. And to give you tips on how to accomplish that, I'm going to hand you over to Sam from Expedition Theme Park.
4 is my max, but today I'm definitely going to try and get more.
So what is the trick? How do we do it?
So the easiest way to do it is you have to alternate your wings one at a time like this. The opposite way of the thing is moving, and then use your whole body weight to push the opposite way to the one that's down. And if you do that in sync with the motion, you're getting like a rhythm, and then you can just keep going.
After Sam gave me his tips, I went on this with a couple friends, and I was able to accomplish 1 barrel roll. So I'm not quite the spin queen quite yet, but maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Keep practicing.
Yeah, I'll keep practicing. So one thing we never did before is going to the Viking training camp. It's kind of like this playground for kids, and that's the reason why we've never been in here, because it's mostly like a playground for kids. But it is so cute. There's so many things. There's like binoculars you can look through that look like the dragons. But pro tip, if you're a photographer or videographer like us, go up to the top level. You get stunning views of Stardust Racers. You can see the Celestial Spin. You get views of all of Berk. You can watch Hiccup's Wing Gliders go by from an angle that I've never seen before. It's just so beautiful up here. It's like a vibe. So maybe Viking training camp isn't just for kids, is what I'm saying.
The next world we're going to is Dark Universe, into the village of Darkmoor, and this is home to all the Universal monsters.
Okay, let's talk about some general tips to save you time waiting in line to get you on more rides. So 7 out of the 11 rides at Epic Universe have single rider lines. That means if you are willing to ride alone without the rest of your party, you can wait a lot less than the posted wait times. There are some caveats. Again, you can't sit with your crew. And also, you'll probably be missing a bunch of the pre-show and queue. So if you've already ridden the ride like Monsters Unchained and you're fine missing the pre-show, I highly recommend doing the single rider line. So right now, the wait time for Monsters Unchained is only 25 minutes. That's actually really low. I want to test out how much faster the single rider line is. So here we go. We're gonna start the timer right now. Let's go. So after you put your bags in the lockers, you go up the stairs and you go through a series of corridors and hallways. You skip the entire pre-show, so I wouldn't recommend doing this if you've never been on this ride. But if you've already seen the pre-show, which is fantastic, I highly recommend it. So I think there's all this area because on a busy park day, there might be a lot of single riders here. But today, there is not. Take this path, and it brings you directly to the ride vehicles. I did the timer, and it basically took us 4 minutes.
Yeah, and like a minute of that was us like putting stuff in our locker.
Yeah, and I do want to mention that the pre-show probably takes like, what, 10 minutes or something?
Yeah.
So it would have been 25 minutes plus the 10 minutes for the pre-show. We did it in 4, which is incredible. So I highly recommend Monsters Unchained for single rider. Also, Mario Kart has a good single rider. So we were riding Mario Kart with our friends Sam and Jackie, and when we got out, it was pouring and thundering. Look at how bad this is. This is like the worst land to be in if it's raining. Sam has found cover underneath the question mark blocks. And if Ministry of Magic has their single rider open, I'd recommend that as well because each vehicle fits 13, so they're always going to be pulling single people to fill the vehicle. There are a bunch of other single rider rides here, but I wouldn't recommend using them. That includes Stardust, Minecart Madness, Werewolf. They will pull less from the single rider line because like even numbers. Take advantage of the single rider when you can. So the one tip I have for you on Monsters Unchained is when you're in the ride vehicle, you have the inclination to like look out because the bars are blocking you, but the audio is coming from back here. So you almost want to like keep your head back so you can hear all the story. Elsewise, if you're like this, you're gonna miss stuff.
And also the monsters will get you if you stick your head out too far.
Yeah, you want to be back here. You're safer back
You're
there.
safer back there.
One of our favorite places to grab a drink in all of Epic Universe is the Burning Blade Tavern. It's on the outskirts of Darkmoor. You'll find it right underneath the windmill, which engulfs in flames every 15 minutes. So if you look at your watch, on the hour, 15 past the hour, 30 past the hour, and 45 past the hour. And if you don't have a watch, all you gotta do is listen out for the bell tolling in Darkmoor Village, because that's the monster hunters alerting each other to gather to chase Frankenstein to the Burning Blade. And they're gonna corner him in there and then engulf it into flames. Actually, at nighttime, you can actually see their pitchforks and like the light from their torches as they go to light up the windmill on fire. It's really cool, but I like that there's a story reason. Right now we're gonna go into the Burning Blade because there's a drink that we haven't had. It is a secret drink that isn't on the menu.
The secret drink here at the Burning Blade Tavern is called the Crossbow, and it is a cross between the Strongbow Cider and the Darkthorn Mead. Both of those are delicious on their own, so I can't wait to try a combination of both of them. It's nice and fruity with the berry flavor of the mead. It almost tastes like a grape juice mixed with like the tartness of the apple cider. 5 out of 5. But this does come with a warning. If you order the Crossbow, you are responsible for fending off the monsters yourself. You will not have any help from the monster hunters because you are armed with a crossbow.
I've returned to ask you about our marriage. Due to my career, I'm afraid things are on the rocks. We're not broken up, we're fighting now.
Okay. Oh.
I also wanted to give you camouflage in case you went to the Black Lagoon
thank
later.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, friends.
Wait.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried the Crossbow?
Unfortunately, I've got a bit of an issue with my tab. Did the bartenders tell you about my crossbow issues, my CBI? Could be.
No, they didn't.
Are you drinking a crossbow right there?
Yeah, but they told me if I ordered this that like you wouldn't help me and I'd have to fend off the monsters by myself.
I can help you with
You can still help me?
Oh God, I got shaky hands, mostly because I'm never this close to a wife. Oh, and my cape is blowing. That's a neck fan. That's rechargeable.
I should be honest with you. I'm one of Dracula's brides. Is that okay?
I knew it, lady in blue stripes. I knew it. She's one of Dracula's brides, you sassy referee.
I'm sorry. I thought I should be honest with you.
And that your honesty is the reason they salute you out of respect. Thank you for what you do and for what you do.
Okay.
Can I just watch that sip as I imagine
Yes.
a smooch on my cheek? Ooh, not by the scar. Flirt. Later.
I almost spit that all out.
The second ride in Dark Universe is Curse of the Werewolf. This is a spinning roller coaster. And if you're wondering, how do I avoid spinning? Well, there's no trick to it. It's all based on the weight distribution of your car. So if you have a bunch of kids on one side and a bunch of big adults on the other, you might be spinning a lot, or you might not. There's no way to choose. The one tip I do want to give for this ride, however, is there's a part where you go through this barn. And a lot of people miss the werewolf in this ride. If you look up when you're going through the barn, you'll see the werewolf. So don't forget to look up. I think you have 2 chances. I think you go through the barn twice. So if you miss it the first time, remember to look up the second time. By the way, I wanted to point out that every world has an entrance and an exit. So the entrance is through the portal. You see people going into Darkmoor over there. And this is the exit. And it's interesting, they have a security booth right here. And I love this security booth in Darkmoor, because if you look on the outside, it's all like decrepit and stuff. But then if you go through the booth into Celestial Park, the other side of the booth is all new and celestial. It's a cool little detail.
What are these little booths for, though?
I think if they want to, they can close off the land so that people can't get into the land. And then so it's to stop people from going back
Got
in.
it.
Yeah.
So I just want to hang out in those the little booths.
I mean, you can. There's like no one in it, so we've actually been in here for a second once to like put on sunscreen, but they have like a little fan and there's nothing really.
I feel like if it were to start raining, I would just want to like stay in here, right? And just watch the rain through the little windows. Echo! Ow! Hello, friends. It is I, Frankenstein.
Somebody's had too many crossbows today.
I've only had the one.
So cute.
So it's the next day, and we made our way over to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, where we went to the cafe because this is the second place in the park that serves breakfast, and they only serve it until 10:30. So you got to make sure to get here before 10:30.
At Epic Universe, all the restaurants use mobile ordering, and we love it. So basically, you get to the restaurant, you wait in line to get your table. And once you get to your table, you scan the QR code on the middle of your table. That'll bring you up to the Universal app and the mobile ordering screen. And from there, you select whatever items you want, and you go to checkout. Here's a tip. If you're an annual pass holder at any of the other Universal Orlando parks, you get a discount. Don't forget to scan your discount, or if you're a team member, you get a discount. Don't forget to scan your discount or you won't get it, because it's not in the app automatically like it is at Disney over in Disneyland. So you got to scan it every single time. Remember to get your discount. One mobile ordering tip that I want to tell you that seems obvious at first, but honestly, I've made the mistake and other content creator friends have made the mistake, and they eat food at theme parks for a living. So if they can make a mistake, you can make the mistake. It's once you order your food, you get presented with the order received menu, and you gotta click I've arrived, prepare my order, and scan the table number again. Because you scan the table to start placing your order, and then you gotta scan it again, say that you're here. Because otherwise you'll just be sitting at the table for like a half an hour being like, where's my food? Which might have happened to me. And we got sat outside, which I think is least requested. People want to sit inside in the AC. But I like being out here and like watching the people go by and like just taking in the Wizarding World. And it's underneath the shade. They have fans above us, so it's fine. I do want to say the breakfast here is a little bit more expensive than Oak and Star Tavern. At Oak and Star Tavern, I think most of the items are like $12. Here, the breakfast items are like $20. That said, each breakfast item here comes with a drink. You can get pumpkin juice, lemonade, unsweetened iced tea, the butter beer, frozen butter beer, lavender lemonade, the original plum juice, or a hot beverage like coffee. So I guess you get a little bit more for your money, but that said, that the drink they give you is not the full-size drink. It's a drink for house elves or ants.
The first thing I'm gonna try is the breakfast crepe. This has egg brie, black pepper turkey breast, roasted apples, Mornay sauce, and a yuzu hollandaise sauce. Look at that egg on top. Oh wow, look at that. This doesn't feel like a quick serve breakfast. That has so much going on, so many different flavors. I'm not sure that I like it. This yuzu hollandaise sauce is very overpowering. It's very citrusy, very tart, and it's not like a lemon. Yuzu has like a more like tart flavor than a lemon. Very strong.
First up for me is the croissant supreme. This is a breakfast sandwich with bacon, egg, fromage blanc in a croissant bun with seasonal berries and lavender honey.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think a lot of these come with the seasonal berries and the lavender honey.
I like that.
This is a good breakfast sandwich. I think what makes it is the buttery, flaky croissant bun. I don't think I've ever had a breakfast sandwich in a croissant before. I've had bagel breakfast sandwiches. I've had it in like pancakes at McDonald's. But I really like it in here. And the fact that it's like a fried egg just like elevates it a little bit. The bacon isn't as good as the Oak and Star Tavern.
Oh no.
But this is a solid choice.
They also have a baguette with ham, Gruyere cheese, and the Dijon mustard butter. This looks so good. We are a big fan of the baguette sandwiches for lunch and dinner. This looks like it's gonna be amazing. Very simple, but like look at all that cheese. Oh my God. This is so good. Very simple, but sometimes you don't need something too fancy. This is just meat and cheese, and look at all the ham in there. They jam-packed it full of ham. And there is a nice piece of melty cheese on every bite. The baguette is delicious. This just confirms to me that this is my favorite restaurant, or my favorite quick service restaurant in all of Epic Universe. 5 out of 5, delicious, I love it.
They bake the bread every day here in the Wizarding World at Epic Universe, so it's like fresh and it's like really like crunchy and just
it's so good.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ordinary Adventure.
Yes.
For my next item, I ended up getting something that I cannot pronounce the name of, but I think it's a croquette. This has poached eggs with Mornay sauce, Gruyere cheese, mashed potatoes, toasted baguette, and seasonal berries with lavender honey, poached eggs over the mashed potatoes, and the mashed potatoes are so creamy. It sounded like a bad idea when I was reading the ingredients, but after having it in my mouth...
Well, I think you're supposed to dip the bread in it. Yeah.
Didn't even realize that. Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. 5 out of 5, Peters.
Wow.
Don't get the cream. Get this.
If you don't want like a full breakfast, I also have a bunch of pastries, which I think you could get throughout the entire day. So if you want to just come like grab a cup of coffee and get some pastries and sit out here on the streets of Paris, you can do that. We're trying not to state the obvious in this video, but it should be noted that you do need to download the Universal app, not only to look at wait times, but every single quick service restaurant in the park relies on mobile ordering.
The other popular early morning strategy is to run to the Wizarding World to get on Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. The data I've seen on that is that's not something you should do because the longest wait times are early in the day, and it's usually when the ride breaks down the most from what I've seen. The thing you gotta know is everyone that's not running to Super Nintendo World is running to Ministry of Magic. So if I were you, I would choose something else. If you wait to do Super Nintendo World or Ministry of Magic until after noontime, you'll probably see half the wait that you'll see in the morning. One of the best ways to get on a ride with short lines is to get on when it reopens after a delay. As you know, Epic Universe is a new theme park with state-of-the-art attractions, and what that means is they're probably gonna break down from time to time. Right now, I'm standing in front of the Ministry of Magic, and it's on a delay, so there's a lot of people waiting for it to reopen. So the question is, how can you get to a ride when it reopens, and how can you get there quickly enough? The best way I have found is we have a friend that has a site called themeparkiq.com, and the site is great for like information on theme parks, but I love their notification service. And they have a notification service for Epic Universe where it'll notify you when an attraction goes down, if it reopens, If it goes on a delay, there's a couple steps you got to take to get these notifications. You need to create an account. You need to go to the website and add it to your home screen on your iPhone. And then you got to go to the settings and put push notifications on. And then you got to go to the Epic Universe attraction notifications and turn them on. Right now, there's no paid credits needed, but that could change in the future. But I've been using it, and I'll get a notification that's like, Ministry's back up. And then I, quickly don't run, walk slightly fast over here. Because if you get to be in the first 1,000 people to get over here, you'll get on the ride without having to wait, 3-4 hours a month.
We're now in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, and I want to give you some wand tips. If you're not very good with the wand magic like me, I highly recommend getting the 2nd generation wand, which is the newest version. It's about $20 more than the 1st gen, and it makes doing the magic so much easier. You barely have to do anything, you just point it out the window and it does the magic for you. But if you do have one of the older wands and you have an old map and you would like to get an updated map, you could go into the wand store and they will exchange it for you, and you could get the map that has all the new locations inside the Ministry of Magic. Or, pro tip, if you go on the Universal app, there's actually extra spells on there that aren't on the map that are a little bit more secret.
Now, everybody that comes to Wizarding World Paris usually eats at the cafe, but there's kind of a secret restaurant. It's over in the Dark Wizard area of the world, and it's called Le Goblet Noir. No one really knows that. I don't know why.
Bonjour, welcome into Le Goblet Noir, the coolest part of the Wizarding World.
I'm going to show you why I like this restaurant, but I want to show you a little Easter egg first. So if you come over here, the other Wizarding Worlds have famous restaurants. They have the 3 broomsticks and the leaky cauldron. Well, if you look over here, there's a reference with 2 broomsticks, one's missing, and then over here, there's a cauldron. The thing I love about this restaurant is there's many different rooms, and usually when you go in there, there's not many people in there. So if you want some peace and quiet, away from the hustle and bustle of Ministry of Magic and the busiest part of this theme park, go in there. The only bad part is the food is probably more adventurous for most people. It's Austrian and German, but I recommend getting the schnitzel, and there's even baklava. There's some good stuff on the menu, and plus you can get butterbeer.
Also, a little bit of a pro tip. I'm sure they do this at multiple restaurants around Epic, but if you go in there, they just have a tray full of free ice water because it's always so freaking hot here in Orlando. And she was like, grab as many as you want. And it just made me so happy.
What are you talking about? We're not in Orlando, we're in France.
I mean, Paris. Sorry, yeah, you're right. It's always so freaking hot here in Paris,
I feel like they have trouble getting the secret out about this place, so they just have a guy out here yelling, telling people to go in.
He's like, come inside!
I will say it's the most crowded in there I've ever seen it. It's probably because of that guy.
In Paris in the 1920s, bicycles were the main form of transportation, which is why you see the bicycle tracks all over. And we're going out the secondary exit. If you're a soda junkie like me, then you're gonna wanna buy one of the Coke Freestyle refillable mugs. A single soda purchase is about $5, but you can buy this refillable souvenir mug and refill it all you want in one day for $90. And you get a discount if you buy multiples. It's a great deal, especially if you're gonna buy 2-3 sodas in a day. Plus you get a collectible mug to bring home. This one says grand opening 2025.
Unfortunately, there's no freestyle machines inside of the Wizarding World. There are some right outside of the Wizarding World, but come on, put some in the Wizarding World.
Some of the worlds even have exclusive freestyle flavors. Dark Universe has Screaming Berry. This is Fanta Cherry, Fanta Fruit Punch, and vanilla and grape flavors. I like that quite a bit. That's probably my second favorite. Isle of Berk has my favorite. It's called Dragon Splash. It's Minute Maid Lime, Fanta Lime, and Mellow Yellow. It's so good. I highly recommend that one. Celestial Park has Celestial Spritz. This is Seagram's Ginger Ale with cherry, orange, and grapefruit flavorings. This one, I don't think I've run into anybody that's enjoyed it. It's a skip for me. Super Nintendo World doesn't have a unique flavor yet. I wonder if they're gonna get one. And as we said, Ministry of Magic doesn't have freestyle machines. J.K. Rowling doesn't believe in soda in the Wizarding World.
I want a wizard soda, come on.
Yeah, what the heck?
And if you're like me and you'd rather hydrate with water, you either buy a refillable mug or bring a bottle from home and refill at any of the freestyle machines, Or at most of the attractions, you can find a water refill station and get yourself some water. This one is so cute. All the ones in Berk are amazing. Put it right under here. You got some ice cold water.
And lastly, let's talk about Super Nintendo World. Let's start with Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. This is an awesome roller coaster ride. And I'd recommend, if you're gonna go on this ride, sit in the front row because that's where you can see all the track breaks and you can get the full effect of the ride. The back row, you miss some of that, and it's also a little bit more shaky. People are complaining about their backs hurting after this ride, and I feel like you get more of that on the back row. The other thing you need to know about this ride is it's a very low capacity ride, which only seats 4 guests per each coaster. So if you're gonna prioritize any ride during early access in Super Nintendo World, maybe do this one. And like we said, if you're staying at a Universal hotel, you get early access to Super Nintendo World. If you can, be one of the first couple hundred people into Super Nintendo World. Walk fast to Donkey Kong Minecart Madness. If you don't get there in the first 30 minutes, it's not even worth going in the morning because it will be packed. The secret to getting there before everyone else might be to using the exit to the land. As you know, the main portal goes up an escalator and brings you up onto like the 3rd level of Super Nintendo World. It's a grand reveal, and if it's your first time there, you might want to take this because it's beautiful. But Donkey Kong's all the way in the back of the land. It's on the 1st floor, and if you go through the exit, it's located between the portal and the Super Nintendo World shop in Celestial Park. It's a great option if you want to get to Donkey Kong Country fast, early with your EPA time. You will, however, miss the wow factor of the real entrance. I heard that they're not stopping people from entering the world through this exit, but that could change. Another cool thing to know that most people don't realize is there's actually 2 warp pipes to Super Nintendo World. Everyone in the morning is usually rushing up the warp pipe to the 2 slow moving escalators, but many people don't realize that there's actually a right turn right before the escalators, and there's another warp pipe that leads to multiple elevators and a flight of stairs. So if you have mobility issues, this is the way to go. This can also be a great option for those people who get claustrophobic and want to be in a less crowded situation. The Disney parks might have hidden Mickeys, but Super Nintendo World has hidden Pikmin. They're spread throughout the world. They're in and outside the Nintendo store in Celestial Park as well, so try to find them all. The biggest tip we can give you for Super Nintendo World in Epic Universe is wait until later in the day as the sun is setting. Our experience has been that the world is packed for the first few hours of the day. So the people that have early park access run there, and then the rope drop crowds an hour later also run there. So it gets super duper packed. It's obvious that families like to go here first, and the little kids get tired later in the day, and this land is less busy. Also keep in mind that the power-up band games and activities are mostly outdoors, and waiting in those lines will be easier when the sun isn't beating down on you.
Super Nintendo World is like a good video game. There's so many tips and tricks, like how to get a high score on Mario Kart. We made a whole video on this. It was from Hollywood, but all the tips and tricks apply right here. Put the video right over there. I want to say thank you to some of our Patreons. That includes
MW, Russ and Serenity, and Michelangelo and Lisa. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
We'll see you on the next adventure.
And if you have any tips and tricks we missed, leave them in the comments
Please,
below.
yes.